Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot going to U.S. News and World Report. They say America slips in the eyes of the world. It's interesting because President Trump is now basically going to Davos to the globalist escapade, if you will, out in the mountains, to discuss, I guess, some of his plan going forward. It was just recently reported that he's instituting tariffs now on washing machines and solar panels. A 30% tariff being exercised on imported goods coming from other countries. So very interesting that he chose now to implement this, going to Davos. It'll give him an opportunity to be able to present his views on things as well as take on criticism from those that might not feel the same way he does. And of course, I'm talking about a lot of the globalists out there that really don't have your best interest at heart, but have their best interest at heart. Now, the cost of being more self-sufficient, to being more independent as a nation, is that goods and services are going to end up costing more, hence 30% tariff. So when this actually hits, you're going to start to see an increase in the amount of solar panel, how much a solar panel costs, because most of these solar panels we import. What they're trying to do is make it more competitive for you to buy American and bolster manufacturing here in the United States, but it will cost you more because American labor is a lot more expensive. We have a much more robust labor law out there, and it just literally costs more to produce. There's more environmental regulation that leads to higher cost, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but in order to maintain a competitive edge against imports, you have to assess a tariff. So he's done that. It says the mood of the international conference call at the beginning of this month was somber as Ian Bremmer, president of the political risk consulting firm Eurasia Group, prepared to list off top global dangers in the coming year. Bremmer began with a show-stopping line. He said, if we had to pick one year for a big unexpected crisis, the geopolitical equivalent of the 2008 financial meltdown, well, it feels like 2018. The reasons are many. Bremmer cited, but the most prominent cause for global insecurity stem from U.S. President Donald Trump's move away from global leadership and China's eagerness to fill the perceived vacuum. Now, Bremmer isn't alone. Donald Trump pledged to make America great again. The world thinks he's doing the opposite. The United States slips in this year's U.S. News Best Countries ranking. Now, let me stop there because this isn't the only poll where the U.S. has slipped. Another very telling poll is the Economic Freedom Index over at the Heritage Foundation, which is, basically the polar opposite of U.S. News. And they, too, are showing a decline in the United States' overall position in the world with regards to economic freedom. So we're slipping relative to our own values and virtues that are enshrined in our Constitution. And we're also slipping, according to the left, because we no longer embrace globalism, or at least our current executive branch doesn't embrace globalism. Therefore, we are slipping in the world, falling to number 8. Switzerland, an island of stable prosperity in a world of turmoil, remains the best country, according to a global survey of more than 21,000 people. Now, the reason for the American drop says the second straight year its ranking dipped are fueled by world perception of the country becoming less progressive and trustworthy. I don't know where trustworthy came into this. More politically unstable, and a president who just after a year in office is far more unpopular than any other head of state or company CEO. Now that, of course, is a globalist type of spin. And mind you, I'm no Trump supporter. However, I can tell you, the media has gone all out on this guy. It doesn't matter what he says. You know, he could go out tomorrow in favor of, let's just say, restricting the Second Amendment, right? You would have Democrats clamoring to defend the Second Amendment from President Trump just because it runs counter to what President Trump said. What a litmus test that would be. You know, even if he just pump fakes, you know, says, hey, look, you know, we're looking at massive gun control measures to, you know, rein in the gun crime, blah, 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 that you always hear from government that makes absolutely no sense and runs counter to the numbers and the real statistics. But if you put that out, I wonder how many people that oppose Trump would actually be like, no, we need more guns. Just be an interesting thing to see. This is the best countries ranking come just days after President Trump celebrated his first year in the U.S. as a U.S. president. The U.S. is still seen as the most powerful nation. In many ways, however, the result reflects 12 months of ongoing signs of a decline of American standing in the world. Now, if you remember, Chairman Obama was not really respected in the world, you know? As a matter of fact, how many times did you see him bow to other political leaders? No one really took him seriously. And maybe that's why they liked him so much. You know, because, hey, if you can keep Manshell on vacation and, you know, this guy goes golfing, stays out of trouble, maybe we can get stuff done. And then, of course, he ramrods the progressive agenda through. He did his job. President Trump, on the other hand, not so much. He doesn't play ball with these guys, or at least it appears he doesn't play ball with these guys. And like him or not, he's certainly throwing a wrench in the system. So when I see a index coming from U.S. News and World Report, and I see that we are losing rank, I almost look at it as an opposite thing. So I take it like this. If U.S. News says we're slipping in the world, then we're doing something right. Because we have no place to tell other people and other sovereign nations how to live. We have no place invading their lands and waging endless war on enemies with no faces and no countries. And we certainly have no right to rape and pillage the resources of these other sovereign nations just to fuel our voracious consumer habits and the bottom line of mega corporations housed in this country and elsewhere. So I see this as a good thing. I hope that we continue to slip, because if you ask me, the best kind of America is the America that opposes war, an America that basically sticks to itself, and an America that has so many problems and issues that we're grappling with. We really don't have time to be worrying about anybody else's issues. And that's not to say that we can't be charitable. That's not the case at all. However, we certainly don't need to be going and waging war in other places, spending trillions of dollars when you have homeless and hungry people here in America and people who are struggling that could use the resources so much better, and or just give them back to the people. You know, you talk about a tax cut, make the tax cut permanent or greatly increase it. But certainly don't just blow it on endless waging of war for no reason at all, but to further the interest of corporate America and special interests. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. #WakeTheFlockUp. Have a great day, everybody.